Hi, I'm Donna, and I am today's the 7th of July, I believe. It's the weekend after July 4th. Sales have been slow, and I'm going to show you what sold and ship it out, and maybe talk about some things that happened over the weekend. So if you like this kind of content, don't forget to give me a like, comment, or subscribe. It would really mean the world to me and help my channel a lot. All right, let's get into it. I'm going to probably try to do one a week. Probably going to be weekend sales. And he's got a couple fuzzies on him. Well, anyway, I took a best offer on him. I only sold him for a couple dollars. He has a little bit of wear. It's a Pokemon, or Pokemon. My daughter says I say it wrong all the time. I think his name is Rowlett. He sold on eBay. I've had him for almost a year. And then this Lopsida, I've had her for over a year. She sold on Depop. And this Google Lens helped me. This is Monster High. I forget the whole name of it, but it's one of the Monster High house furniture. The mirror does stay up if it's sitting right. This just flips from like a buffet to a vanity table, and I probably had that for a couple of months. These are Loving, can't see that, Loving Family. They sold on eBay. I've been running a pretty, I don't know what that is, a pretty deep discount sale to get things going this weekend. This is what I have for Saturday and Sunday. I did have a late Friday night sale. It was maybe I'll screenshot it and add it in the video. It was I believe it was a J. Crew button-up flannel or shirt, whatever it was. I can't quite remember. And I did not want the buyer to have to wait that many days, like Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, because Monday was the 4th of July. So I was like, I'll just get it shipped. Normally, a late sale like that, I would have probably just waited until Monday morning shipping, but as it is, there was no Monday morning shipping. So I didn't want my buyer to wait. And these are earrings. That took me a minute to find, because in their little baggies they were like that, and I thought they were a different pair of earrings. I went through that box 3 times. So there you go. So over the weekend my husband had a yard sale. He does a lot of clean outs and whatnot, not as many as he used to. And this guy came up, and I was outside with my husband when this guy came up, and he just seemed strange. I don't want to say weird, but he just seemed strange. And he kept walking around looking at stuff. He asked a few questions. I eventually went in, and I guess he made a pile, according to my husband, and said that he wanted to come back. He paid for all the stuff. They negotiated a bulk price, and my husband's like, $50. He said, what about 40? My husband accepted. He handed the money to my husband and said, oh, can I come back later and pick it up? And now this is later in the afternoon. It's like 3, maybe 4. My husband was going to end the yard sale at 5, and he was going to be done for the day. And he's like, what do you mean later? Like, what time? He's like, 12, 1. And my husband's like, in the morning? And the guy was like, yeah. He's like, I can't have this stuff in my car. I'm going to be driving people around. So maybe he was like an Uber driver or whatever. So my husband's like, absolutely not. So my husband's like, I'll be out here tomorrow. You can pick it up tomorrow. My husband tried to, he was like, okay. And my husband tried, he's like, I'll be back tomorrow. My husband tried to give him the money back, which he never took it back. And my husband's like, well, he'll be here tomorrow. So he boxed everything up and set it aside. Well, that was yesterday. He never came around. And my husband's not having a yard sale all week. So what do you do? Like, so my husband's like, my cat is being a pain. You need not to be up here. Well, anyway, this is Housey, and he is being a little bit of a pain today. What is that? So he's like attention hogging kitty this morning, and he won't stop. So back to my story. Well, anyway, we rang the box inside. If the guy comes back in a day or two to pick up the stuff, and we'll give it to him. But I don't know, like, if he has a yard sale next weekend or the following weekend, can he put that stuff out? I don't know. Like, what do you do? What would you do? Like, the guy should have just taken his money back, and that way it wouldn't be an issue. If he didn't come back, my husband could just put it back out for sale whenever he has time for another yard sale. I don't know. So, well, that's my funny story of the day. And no, I don't, if my cat's been up here, I get rid of the top layer, because you never know who's allergic to pet hair and whatnot. And if I'm not up here shipping, I have it covered in the vet, because he likes to sit out there at the window. So I'm going to start, I don't know what I'm going to start with. I'm just having one of those days. I finally did order some jewelry boxes. They're coming. So, yeah, I don't know what was taking me so long to order the jewelry boxes. I think I was just being cheap. And I don't think it's going to fit. No. No, it's not going to fit. So I'll use a bigger box. I can use it for this. Well, anyway, I was just perplexed about that sale, because it's just about my husband's sale, because I don't know, like, what the right thing is to do. I guess I'm going to have to look up, like, what kind of abandoned property laws my state has, because it's still right selling it, but he never came back for it. And I need 2 tape guns, because this is out of tape. And pardon me, my tape is right behind my camera on a little tiny shelf that only holds my tape. So this weekend, back to eBay and online selling has been pretty much crickets. And I've been watching and listening to a lot of reseller content, and I feel like some resellers I listened to did pretty good. So, just curious, how were your sales? I mean, I feel like that this time of the year is slower for me, and I did have, last year I did like no buy July, because it's like so slow to sell stuff in July. Like the sale, my sales, I know that your sales are down, and I just don't generally. I did not buy any inventory for the entire month of July last year. I think I'm going to go do a little thrifting today, just because I want to. I don't need to. I still have some things to list from my last haul. I got the shoes done. I got most of the clothes done, but there's some like magnets and stuff that I have to list. I try to make sure that, you know, I'm not overbuying, because I once had an enormous death pile. And, yeah, it took me forever to go through it, and I redonated a lot of it, because I'm like, it's just too much. I was overwhelmed, and I was like, it's just too much. So that's this. I don't have my scale in here. That's the other thing I have to buy, is a scale for in the other, it's like a smaller room right next to this room where I do my writing, and I weigh my items. You know, like I take the photos and I do a draft and I weigh it. That way I know how much it weighs. So, yeah, I have to keep going back and forth. This little guy, he's so cute. But I had him forever. I thought that he was like, when I got that lower offer, I made a sale, and then they sent me an offer, and I was like, I think it sold for like $5 or $6. There was a couple listed for what I had originally listed it for, which was like 14 or 15, but I couldn't find any sold. And when I say a couple, I think like 3 or 4, including mine. So I was like, well, they're listed for that, but I couldn't find any sold. So I just accepted the offer. I had it for a year, or almost a year. So I'm like, there's no sense in holding on to it. You know, I only have so much space to work with. So if I hold on to everything for an extra $3 to $5, it just takes up my space. And if I have his name wrong, you can correct me in the comments. The way I pronounce this is not a big enough bag. Just correct me in the comments. I said his name was Rowlett or Rolette, something like that. My daughter would be able to tell me. I don't know. Whenever she moved, so she's not close. So I used to be like, I call her baby. And I was like, baby, what's the name of this Pokemon, or what's this? And she always knew. So not everything, but and then she has a daughter who was watching cartoons and stuff at the time, so she knew a lot of the newer characters that I do not. So she was very helpful in that, you know, so I don't have to like search so much to find out what stuff was, because my husband loves to dig to the bottom of the bins. I have so many things. I think that I'm just going to take a day or two and write them. I did that once before, and then not straight away, but a couple months later, they started to sell pretty decently. This, maybe she'll fit in here. Maybe not. Well, I think her head's too big. Yeah, her head's too big. So I'm gonna go up there and get a box. So I don't want to see what you guys watch me climb up there. So, okay, I got a box. I checked to see if she fits, and she does. If this box was an inch smaller, she would not have fit. So pardon the noisy tape. This is a 10 by 8 by 6 box. I get them from eBay. She's gonna go in just like that. I just want to make sure she's covered on all sides before I cover her face if she goes to her new home. And I just misspelled Opsy, but I know what I was trying to spell, so I was not paying attention to what I was doing. This box might be a little big for this. But I'm okay with that. I'll just add extra padding. And because I don't feel like digging out all the box. This rack back here was supposed to be one rack. There's actually two. One rack was supposed to be for shipping supplies, and the other one was supposed to be for bulky inventory or breakable inventory I do not want to put in bins that get moved around all the time. You know, like glass plates. But now it needs an edit. Everything always needs an edit. Like I straighten stuff up and then it gets cluttered up again. So I want to make it so I don't have a pile of boxes. I don't know if you can, yeah, you can see those boxes up there. And have to climb up there all the time to get them because they feel like, yeah. I feel like climbing and sorting through boxes to get one is a time suck, and I shouldn't be doing it. They should be on the shelves where I can use them. If I have to get rid of some stuff, I'm gonna get rid of some stuff. I feel like this video is taking way too long. And I normally have extra paper sitting aside, but I'm out. I normally get that from my work, but I haven't been there in a minute, so I'm going back in August. So, and then we'll see. I'd like to just resell on YouTube full time, but I'm not monetized on YouTube, and my sales sometimes, you know, I'll have a couple weeks where I probably could make a full-time income, and then it drops off again. And so I like to know what's going to hit my bank account. And this was Monster High, right? And I'll weigh these when I'm done packaging. And I did have an offer for a little frog brooch. I waited for the payment to come through, but it did not. So I'm just gonna do my shipping. If they pay before I edit the video, maybe I'll put a screenshot of that up there too. It used to be like where buyers had days to pay, and then sometimes they didn't pay. And then it started where if you accepted the offer or they paid for it, the payment was almost immediate. Within a few minutes you would see it. And now I've noticed that sometimes a little while go by, or maybe half the day before I notice that the item was paid for. And I recently learned that they're trying out a new thing where they're giving buyers like 30 minutes to change their address or make an edit or cancel the order or whatnot. So maybe that's why. I'm not sure. Like, I think it's good if, you know, they need to change their address. They have time before the sale goes through to do that. But I feel like if you're going to shop on eBay and you move, you probably should change your address. I mean, but we're all human, so maybe some buyers forget, like, I don't know, or go to the post office and have, like, fill out that, where you used to be here and now you're there, and they forward all your mail to that new address. I don't know, but I feel like, I mean, this was like 2 hours ago, and I checked it before I started my shipping. There's something. It's a fuzzball. I don't know. You let me know. Like, do you think that's good, or do you think that's not good? Have you noticed where you have to wait all day for a payment to come through. I don't know. I feel like that's it for my shipping. These little bags. These bags I reuse when I can, and I keep the old ones up here with my shipping supplies because I have some in there too, but I was just writing some jewelry a little while ago, so I never bring back in. Well, sorry for rambling. I feel like I rambled a lot on this one, and thanks for watching. And yeah, if you like this kind of content, or if you learned anything, you know, give me a like, a comment, a subscribe would really help my channel a lot. I feel like it's going a little slower than I wanted to, but my research tells me I'm still okay. So I just, I've been working hard. I've been trying to figure out YouTube algorithm and how to deal with slower sales on eBay. So, I mean, that's all we can do, right? Is keep moving forward and keep, adjusting and pivoting to the new changes in the reselling world. And now for me, the YouTube world that I'm still learning. So don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you next week, hopefully with a bigger shipping video. All right.